Every morning at 7:03 a.m., the yellow bus groaned to a stop on Pine Hollow Road, and every morning Lily watched him. The dog. He stood just past the tree line, massive, silent, fur like smoke and ash, not wagging, not barking, just watching, then walking, following the bus all the way to the school gate. Before we begin this powerful tale of silence and sacrifice, tell me in the comments what was your first dog's name and breed. You can help stories like this be heard, remembered, and shared. If this one touches your heart, like the video. And don't forget to follow for more true feeling stories of healing, loyalty, and quiet courage. Sometimes, the strongest voices are the ones that never speak, and sometimes, they bark. At first the kids thought it was funny. Look, it's the bus dog again. He's our mascot. But Lily noticed more. He never blinked, never stopped, and never missed a day. One morning, Lily sat at the front and asked the driver, "Mr. Hankins, have you seen that dog before this year?" He frowned in the mirror. "Can't say I have, but he sure sticks to his route." At school, Lily started sketching him. Every notebook margin, every worksheet corner, the same pointed ears, the same amber eyes, and always the woods behind him. One afternoon, after practice, Lily missed her regular bus. By the time she got out, the sky was purple with sunset. She started walking, and at the bend in the road, there he was, sitting by the ditch, facing the trees, as if waiting for something or someone. She took a step toward him. He stood, took 3 steps back, then stopped, waited. Lily followed. They walked along the edge of the woods for what felt like 20 minutes. Then suddenly, he stopped, sniffed the air, looked over his shoulder at her once, then ran, not toward her, away, disappearing into the dark. The next morning, he was back, same place, same time. But this time, his front paw was wrapped in torn cloth, and it was red. Lily told her guidance counselor, told the driver, even told the school security guard. Probably just a stray, they said. Probably got into a fight. But Lily knew better. He wasn't chasing anything. He was following, guarding, waiting, for something only he could sense. That afternoon, everything changed. Lily never got on the bus. Not the early one, not the late one. She never made it home. The next morning, the dog was there, 7:03 a.m., same spot. But this time, when the bus arrived, he didn't follow it. He turned his head and ran straight into the woods. Lily's foster parents reported her missing at 9:14 p.m. She never stays out, Dana said to the officer. She's quiet, obedient. This isn't like her. Greg nodded beside her, but something in his eyes looked off, like relief masked as worry. By morning, her photo was everywhere. Classrooms whispered. Hallways echoed her name. She was just here yesterday. Did she run away? No way. Lily wouldn't. But no one had an answer, except the dog. At 3:30 p.m., while the kids waited at the bus loop, the dog returned. Only this time, he didn't stop by the fence. He walked straight up to the curb. His front paw, still wrapped in cloth, was soaked red. He stared at the kids, then at Mr. Hankins, and barked. Once, sharp, commanding. Then he turned and walked toward the woods. Most kids froze, but one boy, Caleb, followed. "I think he wants us to come," Hankins called out. "Hey, that dog's dangerous." But Caleb kept walking. 2 teachers followed. One called the police. The dog led them through twisted trees and rotting leaves. Half a mile in, they found the first sign. Lily's backpack, torn at the strap, mud smeared. Inside her sketchbook, open to the last page, a drawing of the dog, standing in front of a boarded-up shack. The police arrived. They brought dogs, drones, flashlights. By nightfall, they found the shack, and what was beneath it? A trap door, padlocked from the outside. Inside a dark cellar, cold, wet, empty, except for a bloody shoelace, and scratches on the walls, deep, desperate, like someone had tried to claw their way out. The officers looked at each other. Whoever was here, they were here recently. Meanwhile, the German shepherd, Max, circled the clearing, sniffing, listening. Then he sat down, facing a narrow path, and didn't move, for hours, until the wind shifted, and he bolted down the trail. By the time the officers caught up, he was barking outside another structure, this one older, camouflaged, built into the earth. The door had no lock. Inside they found a cot, an empty bowl, and a girl's bracelet, the one Lily wore every day. And then they heard it, from beneath the floorboards, a knock, then another, faint, weak, but alive. The knocking was faint, but steady. One of the officers dropped to his knees, pressed his ear to the floor. "She's there," he whispered, "alive." They pried up the planks, one by one, and there beneath layers of dirt and dust, curled in a hidden crawlspace, barely large enough to turn around, was Lily, eyes wide, lips cracked. She didn't speak, just stared at Max. Tears streaked her face as she reached a trembling hand toward him. He licked it once, then lay down beside the opening, tail thumping once against the dirt. Lily was rushed to the hospital. Mild hypothermia, dehydration, a broken wrist, but she was safe, and she never let go of Max's collar the entire ride. In the following days, news spread fast. Local dog rescues kidnapped teen. A mystery mutt follows school bus to uncover hidden bunker. But Lily knew it wasn't that simple. Max hadn't just saved her. He'd known where she was, before even she did, because she hadn't been taken in the way everyone thought. That afternoon, she had walked with him into the woods, just a few feet, to pet him, to see where he always went, and something called to her, a whisper, a flicker of memory, something buried deep. She saw flashes, a man's hand grabbing her shoulder, a door slamming, dirt walls, and her own voice screaming. But it wasn't from that day, it was from years before. She was 5, before the system, before her name was changed, before she was moved from home to home. There had been another girl, an older sister, and a dog, a German shepherd, just like Max. She asked the officers to run his microchip. They did. No match, no records. But the vet found something else, a small tattoo, faded, behind Max's left ear, a military ID, 10 years old, retired, handler, Corporal D. Wallace. That name stirred something in Lily's mind. She dug through her case file. There it was, her birth name, Lily Wallace. Max wasn't just any dog, he had been hers. Before the fire, before the accident, before she was taken, he'd survived, and he'd found her. Again. 2 weeks later, Lily sat in the park, sketchbook in hand, Max lying beside her in the grass. Sunlight danced through the leaves above, dappling the pages where she drew. Not the school, not the shack, but a house, small white, with a red door, and a swing on the porch. She didn't remember the inside, but she remembered the feeling, safety, laughter, the way Max used to nudge her hand when she was sad. The police found records of a foster home fire from 10 years ago. 2 children listed, only one survived. The other, her older sister, was never recovered. Her name had been removed from the file, erased, as if she'd never existed, until Max brought her back, not in body, but in memory, because the cellar, the one where Max found Lily, was under what remained of that house, the house that burned, the house Lily was taken from. She had walked in a loop all her life, foster home to foster home, missing pieces, nightmares of hands, of fire, of silence, and Max had waited, watched, followed, until she remembered, until she followed him back. After the press died down, Lily asked to keep him. The system hesitated, but her therapist stepped in. If this dog hadn't followed that bus, she said, we'd still be searching. Permission was granted. Max became hers again. That fall, Lily started high school in a new district, new clothes, new notebooks, new name. But every morning, at exactly 7:03 a.m., she and Max walked to the bus stop together, not because he had to follow her anymore, but because he chose to stay. She wore a bracelet with two charms, one etched with a paw print, the other, a tiny flame, to remember who she was, and who she'd become. The past hadn't disappeared, but it no longer owned her, and every time she looked at Max, at those steady amber eyes, she knew sometimes the person who finds you has four legs, and never once stops walking beside you.